Hey guys, welcome back to Talking Walking Dead, and a very interesting and I think a pretty great episode called Save the Last One.
It was actually my favorite episode of Walking Dead ever.
Yeah.
I love the pilot. I thought the first two episodes this season was strong, but this one, because it even had that little twist at the end, I thought this one was the most powerful one yet. And it showed you definitively that nothing comes easy.
Yeah.
Because they could have easily had the first part of this episode be Shane and Otis coming back with the stuff or something, even skipping over the zombie stuff. But no, nothing comes easy. Not operating on Carl, not getting medical equipment, nothing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the episode opens with Shane shaving his head, basically telling us he's going to live. He's going to survive the incident with Otis at the school. But if you think that means that there's no tension, I mean, I think the episode quickly proves you wrong, both because it still is exciting and, you know, pretty intense to see what's happening to them, and then the fact that there was this big reveal at the end.
And definitely, and you almost start putting yourself in their shoes. It was some of the scenes were so intense because you turn the corner, there are zombies. You turn the corner, you're surrounded. What do you do? And you just realize you're going to face an awful death. And it was enough for me in the opening scene, which was that head shaving moment. Okay, Shane's come back shaken. Otis died off screen, which was a little odd, but it was enough for me to make me think, oh, he's just, you know, he's really shaken. He needs some sort of physical change. But that twist at the end, when it showed sort of both how dark Shane could still be, and how much he would sacrifice for Carl or the greater good and so forth.
Yeah.
You know, it actually it's still he's still such a sharp contrast, even after the bonding in the last episode, such a sharp contrast to Rick, who even if it might have not have saved his son's life, would not have done what Shane had did.
Yeah, we've talked about how, you know, they were making Shane more sympathetic recently. Then he does this despicable thing. I mean, it's terrible what he does.
And we get to watch Otis get ripped to pieces.
Yeah. So, you know, it's very hard to sympathize with him, but at the same token, you're right. It's like he did save Carl's life.
And that was the only way.
Yeah.
Right? So the hard decisions. So he's ready. He can make them. You know, Rick, I'm not sure he could have done that.
Here, we also have something very interesting happen because we talked a lot, you know, Shane has already lived longer than the comic books. He's not supposed to be around in the comics. Otis, on the other hand, is supposed to live longer than this. If you follow the comics, Otis did not die at this point in time. So I actually kind of like this a lot. They're going in such a different tangent here and saying, you know, this is an alternate reality of what the comic book is, a different path.
Another dark part of the episode, the conversation between Lori and Rick.
Yeah.
Lori actually debating, weighing the options of letting Carl die perhaps so that he doesn't have to live in such a horrible, horrible world with no hope.
Yeah.
It actually reminded me a little bit of the conversation that Viggo Mortensen has with his wife in The Road, where she has similar things. The world is over. Why bring new life into this world? Why subject him to the suffering that we're going to go through inevitably?
Yeah, I mean, you see her point. You know, you might not necessarily think she's right. Yeah, let the kid die, but you see her point why she would say that. I do think this was, Walking Dead at its best because there was a lot of exciting stuff. There was a bigger twist at the end than we're used to with this show. At the same time, there was some pretty heady, interesting conversations. You mentioned Lori and Rick. We also had, you know, Andrea and Daryl out there in the woods talking about whether she still wanted to live or not. We had, you know, Glenn talking about God. Did he believe in God or not? It was all pretty interesting and mixed up enough with the very exciting stuff that it didn't get bogged down and all that.
That's true, and it gave us another zombie first because, you know, the show kind of gives you that wow thing so we got to see the hanging zombie in this one, reaching out and screaming and so forth.
Yeah.
Definitely something I hadn't seen before and something that also seemed to make Andrea think a little bit about whether or not she wanted to cash it all in and give up and kill herself.
Yeah, and a nice unsettling image there with the zombie missing its flesh on its legs because other zombies had eaten it off. So yeah, this was one of our favorite episodes ever. Matt says his favorite, period.
It was mine, period, yeah.
So yeah, let us know what you think in the comments below and come back next week for Talking Walking Dead.